Good morning, all.
Good morning, Mayor.
Morning, Mayor.
Morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, Devin, you on?
Yes, sir. I am here. I think
All
we've
right.
got some stragglers still signing in, but for the benefit of the group, I'll just remind everybody that this meeting will be recorded and it'll be available on the city's YouTube page for anyone who couldn't attend or any member of the public who wants to have the opportunity to see what the group discussed today. So that's just the kind of housekeeping item to get us started. And Mayor, like I said, I think we've got some stragglers logging in, and I'll continue to admit them to the meeting, but I will pass it over to you.
All right, thank you. We have a short agenda today, and there's a couple of items I want to bring up to the group to kind of give them some updates. And so, moving forward, hopefully we won't take long today, about 45 minutes or so to do this. Excuse me. A couple updates from the city to let you know what's going on. We have hired a grant administrator. This person will be in charge of actually finding and administering all of our grants, making sure that we're in compliance and all of that. That's something that we going forward will help us in securing grants that we're able to obtain, not just from the city, from the state as well as federal, and making sure that we're keeping up schedule wise and mandating and all that. So that's going to be a good addition to us because we want to make sure that let people in this community know that we're trying to find other ways to get revenue to supply the services and projects going forward with that. City Hall project is still going on, as you all know. If you go down through town, we're still working with that. We hope that it should be we're moving in by next March or April at the latest with that, but we'll give you update. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had Congressman Barr came to the city and presented us with a $1.6 million funding for the Lexus Way in Old Oxford. And this is for the designing phase. So we're going to hopefully move forward with that and try to do the best with that. Some other city, county, and I know Judge is on here with me. If he wanted to comment on this too, he can. But we have kind of tag team with the county on some projects that we're working with. One being the pavilion, the farmers market, which hopefully will be started soon. And with that, we also had an initiative where we were concerned with parking because of the Justice Center being construction later on, the farmers market, and also City Hall. And that has limited some of the parking that is going to be needed while those projects are being done. So we, as trying to be good about trying to make an alternative for our citizens, we tag team with the county on doing a parking lot over by the center of town. And what we did, we just did a gravel parking lot there, and hopefully we were able to get that going soon. It's been completed. We're now looking at some way we see if we can get it somewhere striped so we can get the parking spots there. We're also looking at some quality of life improvements. And I talked with Judge Covington on this, and he and I have been in conversation on that. So, Judge, is there anything else I've on our end that you want to say or that we talked about? Or
Yeah, Mayor, as far as that farmers market pavilion, just waiting on shop drawings to be approved, and then the fabrication of the metal structure started. The last conversation that we had with the architect and the contractor, Marilla Design, is that they're hopeful that the first week of June that they would mobilize and put up a construction fence and start working on site preparation activities. I will try to double back and check on making sure that date's still available. but no, working together to use some equipment that we have and then resources, being good stewards of tax dollars, on that additional parking lot, the gravel lot there that you spoke of, I think was just wise to give our citizens another option for parking downtown, especially when we get started with the actual farmers market construction phase. So no, I think it's good stuff, and I think it'll serve the community well.
And our next step with going with that on parking is we hope to have put on our social media and get out to the communities all the public parking spaces in the city, so people will know that and have an opportunity to go and use those parking facilities. Because we know that parking is a big issue, so we're trying to address that.
Oh, you're on mute.
Just to be brief, a few things that I have with me. Also, going to give you some update is John Cooper and also Fernando Thomas. John Cooper is going to give us an update with the legislation, and of course, as you know, through the session and some important information that we need to know about. And also, Fernando, I talked to him about. He sent some information about for housing and what Habitat for Humanity is doing. Okay, so Mr. Cooper, if you're up, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'll let you start and give us an update on the. I'll let you give us an update on of this legislative session. Okay.
All right. The 2024 session is over. Sine die. That means they've ended until the General Assembly is convened next January for the non-budget 30-day session. We did pass a biennial budget. Kentucky does a 2-year budget, so we do budget for 2 years and we don't do annual budgets. Kentucky had a significant budget surplus, primarily for a couple of reasons. One is Kentucky was early into the internet marketplace sales tax arena. The companies that do that, Amazon, Etsy, Walmart, Target, and others, wanted to be the tax collector for the internet marketplace. And you say, why would they want to do that? Well, they wanted to do it because particularly the Chinese won't pay sales tax unless it prohibits them from getting on the platform. And so to their credit, all of the marketplace holders that have the platforms collect the tax. Kentucky was early into that game. It was a windfall. And then as soon as that was done, a year after that was done, we went into COVID. And so you understand all the internet purchasing that was done during COVID. It created a windfall for Kentucky, as well as the ARPA funds and some of the general increase in wages and employment. This budget surpluses will be fairly short-lived, probably over the next 2 years, and then we'll be going back to more of a traditional growth pattern within the budget. There were increases of about a significant increase in funding for clean water infrastructure and broadband infrastructure. Georgetown will benefit from some of that money. They allocated about $548 million to increase toward Medicaid benefits. They gave state employees a 3% raise. They increased the school SEEK formula in both FY25 and FY26. But what they didn't do is guarantee teachers a raise during that period of time. They've left that up to the local school districts. And that has an upside and a downside. It's an upside if you're a legislator or if you're a state budgeter, because you leave that to the local level. It's a downside if you're the local school district, because you're the one who has to come up with that. And in a growing district like Scott County, they don't necessarily benefit as much out of a general increase in the SEEK formula as poorer counties in the Commonwealth do. It fully funded state pension plans, which was a good thing. We're getting back on track. We still don't have the best fiscal situation regarding our state public employee pension plans, but we've made significant progress on that. There was Locally, we did get some infrastructure funding for water and sewer. There was there are basically 4 big budgets that passed with regard to appropriations and revenue. House Bill 1 obviously is the state budget. The House Bill 6 is the executive branch budget. And we allocated about $128 billion towards the operation of the executive branch state government. House Bill 8 is called the revenue bill, and it's passed each session. And the good news about this is one of the things that the General Assembly policymakers in the appropriations area did not want to do was any significant tax increases at the time. They've done some tax reductions in the state income tax, but they wanted to do a wait and see before adjusting taxes any further. There is an automatic decrease in the state income tax that occurs effective January 1 of 2024. And House Bill 266 is the 2-year road plan. That's actually the roads that are going to be built. The state has a 6-year road plan, but the 4 years and what we call the outlier years are really just planning. Nothing is definitely going to happen until it's put in the 2-year or the current biennial piece of the road plan. That occurs in House Bill 266. There's going to be a continued reconstruction of US 25 between Lexington and Georgetown. It's pretty significant. It will continue the 4-laning process of that particular road, and that is significant for traffic control in the area. In addition, one of the things that impacts locally is this Kentucky Horse Park got about $37 million to build barns. They haven't built new barns down there really since the place was constructed originally in the early 1980s, late 1970s, early 1980s. They did correct the RFP process so that the horse park can host more events such as concerts and other things without having to go through the Model Procurement Act. Really, that's not the way that business works, and it should bring revenue to the Kentucky Horse Park. All in all, long session. I want to talk to you about what I didn't like in the session. This is kind of an editorial comment on my part, but since we're dealing with diversity, inclusion, and those kind of things, I think that's very appropriate. First one I want to mention is House Bill 5, the criminal justice bill. There are parts, it's a huge bill. There are parts of the bill that are good. There's a whole lot of the bill that troubles me. One is the cost. The cost is going to be tremendous. And a lot of that cost will be shifted to local governments. Kentucky already has a jail problem. Jails in Kentucky are, in terms of administrative funding, are black holes. You just keep pouring money into them. I think they're structured in the wrong way for the future, and House Bill 5 will exacerbate that problem. Worse than that, in my opinion, was House Bill 5 criminalized homelessness to a certain extent, and I think that's really unfortunate. I think it misses the mark of what you're trying to do with reforms in criminal justice. It also puts additional burden on local police departments under state law. And I believe that there'll be a significant court cases that will arise out of this particular portion of Senate Bill 5. In addition to that, House Bill 5. In addition to that, in House Bill 5, there are a number of other provisions that I think will be not only controversial, but I think they'll be very litigious going forward. One of the bills in the session that I think was probably most egregious was the attempt, and it died, thank goodness, was the attempt to eliminate diversity and inclusion programs, equity and inclusion programs at Kentucky's public universities. This bill died because it just kept getting worse. And that it got so bad that the Senate finally killed the bill. The bill was not a good bill to start with. I mean, it eliminated funding, it eliminated requirements. It actually, in my opinion, would take us back 50 years in that particular area. The bill died, thank goodness. Let's hope that it doesn't come back, but I'm sure that this is an issue that's going to be with us for a while. And those of us that are concerned about diversity, equity, and inclusion issues need to be very vigilant about being educated and very active. And I cannot stress that enough as someone who deals with that. We failed to deal with any kind of gun safety measures during the session. Everybody has their own opinions on that. I think there were some things that we could have done. And after the Old National shooting in Louisville, we had some hope that there would be a car bill or a timeout bill for those people who may be either temporarily or permanently mentally have mental issues, that there was a good process of which to try to keep them and other people safe. That did not pass. One of the other bills that will affect us going forward and that will be on the ballot this fall is a bill that would allow public funding of private schools through the area of vouchers. And that will be on the ballot this fall. I can tell you that the public school system, most of the superintendents in the state that I've talked to, and most teacher organizations are going to, and most retired teacher organizations will vigorously oppose the voucher constitutional amendment. The one good thing is the General Assembly doesn't have a very good track record of passing constitutional amendments on the ballot once they pass the General Assembly. And one of the reasons is the way that those constitutional amendments have to be written. And they have to be written completely. And by the time the people look at that, even folks that would tend to vote for school vouchers look at them and go, I don't understand this. And when they don't understand them, they vote no, which is probably wise. So anyway, that's my editorial comments along with the factual comments that I gave you. And if anybody wants to talk about it, I'd be glad to answer any questions you have. And if not, I'll let you know or we'll find the answer. Mayor?
Hey, John, this is Devin. Thanks for the update. From your perspective, just knowing the issues facing our community and also the opportunities in our community, what piece of legislation do you think is the most important for us to keep in mind, whether it failed or passed? Just your pulse on what we should be looking at.
I think the crime bill is going to be expensive for local communities. I really think it's one. If I'm the city council, the fiscal court, or the sheriff, or the mayor, or the police chief, I would be concerned about the cost of that and the cost of enforcement going forward. I think that's going to be, and it will take a while. I do think that there's going to be a number of pieces of litigation that will arise out of this. It gives shopkeepers some kind of unlimited power when they think someone has stolen something from the store. That is litigation waiting to happen. And I don't necessarily think that piece was well written. It puts a lot of onus on police departments, in my opinion, a lot more workload. That's the bill that I think we need to look at. One of the things that there were some, and I don't have it before me today, but there are, in terms of affordable housing, we've got a number of issues going forward. We have a lot of unfinished business that the legislature did not do, in my opinion, with regard to comprehensive affordable housing measures in Kentucky. That's something I look forward to working on during the 2025 session. We did do some things, but and I'll try, Devin, I'll try to get you a list of those. We have kind of an outline of that. I'll try to get those to you, and you can distribute that to the group.
Awesome. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for John Cooper?
Hey, Mayor, this is Jack. Mayor, this is Jack. John, talk a little bit about child care, please.
Child care did get some attention during the session, but it didn't get the funding that it really needed. As you know, during COVID, there was a lot of pressure on child care facilities. There were a number that went out of business. Senator Danny Carroll, who's been a big advocate for affordable child care in Kentucky, had a bill that went forward. That bill died actually in the latter days of the session. It was a good bill. I still think we've missed the mark on that. That'll be unfinished work for the 2025 session too, Jack. And we looked at workforce training, which we did make some progress on during this session. We looked at child care and we looked at affordable housing. Those are the three legs of the stool if you want people to be able to survive and work. That the workforce training went okay. but the affordable housing, I don't think we addressed in nearly enough magnitude to make a difference. And also the child care was a big disappointment. I'm going to tell you something that really concerns me. There was a bill that came in, and it wasn't a Kentucky-based bill. There's a group in Florida, out of Fort Myers, Florida, and it's they call it. They have a title that has government accountability. It's the Institute, I think, for Government Accountability. They had a bill that would have eliminated the extended threshold for food stamps for families with up to 5 children. And companies like Amazon, Toyota went nuts over this because they said, look, there are people that are working their way out of poverty, that if you take them and drop them off that benefits cliff, you're going to put them right back. You're going to put them right back in the hole, and they're not going to be able to work. And so that was a horrible bill. There was a bill that I was definitely an opponent of the child labor bill. I didn't think that bill was well thought out. It did not pass. And then the bill related to employee lunch hours and break hours and those kind of things, that bill didn't pass either. But there were a number of those kind of bills, and thank goodness General Assembly put most of them on the shelf.
All right. Anyone else that has a question for John before we move on? As always, Mr. Cooper, I appreciate your insight and your input, and because it's very important that we know what's going on down in Frankfurt and be very vigilant in some of the changes that's going to happen, because it does affect not only the government, it also affects the citizens of this community. Another update, and I asked Chief Allgood, Chief, are you on here?
Yes, sir.
All right, Chief Allgood, of course, Chief of Police for the city of Georgetown. One initiative that we are implementing is the body cams, and some citizens have asked about that, as well as some council members, and this has been on the I think the back burner for years, and so now we're ready to move forward. That council approved it, and so we're now in the process of doing the process of getting that all set up and getting training and getting a person hired as the administrator for that. And I'll let Chief give you kind of an update how that works, and then we'll move on. Chief?
Yes, sir. So as the mayor said, we're excited to be moving forward with the body cameras. So just kind of give you a timeline of what we're expecting. So for May, we're looking to get the body camera administrator hired. We had a person that we had hired, but they declined and took another job. So we're reaching out to another person that we'd like to see if they're interested. So hopefully we'll get them hired pretty soon. The intent is to have them to go and train with Lexington Police Department for a couple of weeks. Also our lieutenant in criminal investigations and our property and evidence custodian. So moving into June, that's when we have been told by Axon we can start expecting some of the equipment to come in, the cameras, and this will be a huge undertaking because every vehicle in our fleet will have to be touched. We'll have to put equipment in all of the vehicles to get the Bluetooth and everything set up that needs to be put into place so it functions properly. Then in July is where we will look to hopefully have the cameras, everybody from myself down to the newest officer. Every officer will have a camera, so we'll roll those out, start wearing those out in the community. So we're asking for a 60-day learning curve for officers getting used to wearing those, and there's scenarios and things that will come in into play that we'll have to figure out how to drive through. But hopefully a lot of this training that we'll have in May will help guide us through a lot of this. So July is the date that we'll hopefully have them out on everybody.
All right. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate the update. Again, I thought that was important because this has been an initiative that has, like I said, been in the works for years, and we're finally going to move this forward, and I think it should be a great thing for not just police, but also for our citizens of this community. Next, I have Fernando. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
I asked Fernando. He sent me some information, talking points. He wants to talk a little bit with this group on housing and such. As you know, one of the big elements to navigate is affordable housing, and of course we're working with the Habitat for Humanities, and which is a segment of housing. So I'll let Fernando give you some information on that, and we'll have questions, and we'll move forward. Thank you, Fernando.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Once again, Fernando Thomas here with Scott and Bourbon County Habitat for Humanity. I do outreach, development, and some on the construction sites as well. Yes, affordable housing, and for us, more specifically, affordable home ownership. Currently in the state of Kentucky, 1 in 9 households spend more than half of their income on housing. That's a lot. And so with our organization, we're seeking more donors, more sponsorships, partnerships from the community and other businesses so that we can get families into more affordable homes with reasonable mortgages. When we do this, there's such a huge economic impact on the community. When families are able to actually afford a reasonable, mortgage, that money, leftover money, can go directly back into the community, boosting the local economy. So that's one of the big things that we are searching for. We are also in need in more land to actually build these homes. So we're trying to work with the city, and there are often times that we have land donated to us, but our land is running out for us to build these affordable homes so that we can get people in. So that's what we're really looking forward to, and working with more people in the community so that we can build these affordable housing units within Georgetown and Bourbon County. So just to run over a few numbers that I just got, and this goes back to 2019. So over $500,000 was invested in operation, construction, and rehabilitation renovations in 2019. We had over $500,000 economic impact in habitat investments. So there's so many numbers that when Habitat is able to build these homes and get family into affordable housing, just how much that impacts the local community, economy, and all of that. So we are in need of more partnerships, more donations, more volunteers, all of that, so that we can continue helping the local economy and the families within the community.
All right. Anything else on that? Again, we want to give everybody some update on some things that's going on. Another initiative to make sure people understand that there are a lot of issues in our county and our city that we're all going to have to navigate and going forward. And each each quarter we meet, we hope that we can give you some information onto that. But always feel free that if you have something that you want to bring to the table to discuss and talk about, or give updates on, be sure to email me and let me know that so I can get that on the agenda. The idea of this group is to actually do some dialogue and actually talk about issues, and then as a group maybe come up with some a way to which we can navigate through this, or even come up with a solution to these particular problems. Also giving you some information that you may not be aware of some of the issues and how we need to address those. So like, again, I'm not going to keep you and bore you all day with a lot of useless stuff. So hopefully these quarterly updates and talking points will be able to give you some insight and give you if you have some issues that you want to bring to the table, so that we all can talk about and hopefully be able to navigate and do what's good for the city and county. We can do that. Some of you all that were new on this, if you would, we want to try to, if everybody would go ahead, I'll start with myself, And of course, you know Fernando. If you would introduce yourself and what do you do? Because some of the callers on here may not know who you are or what you do. So again, I'll kick it off. I'm Bernie Jenkins. I'm the mayor for the city of Georgetown. So next, have Fernando Thomas, who's with Habitat of Humanity. Crystal, if you would introduce yourself, please. Crystal Horde.
Yes, sir. Hi, this is Crystal Horde. I am the Director of Human Resources with Scott County Schools.
All right. Of course, you met Darren Allgood, and of course, you know Devin, who's with Chief Administrative Officer for the city of Georgetown. Jack
Connor, Georgetown Scott County Chamber, and also the Executive Director of Scott County United that does economic and industrial development.
Thank you. Miss Robbie Barber.
Hi, I'm Robbie. I'm Assistant Dean at Georgetown College, also President of Ed Davis Community, Inc., and do a lot of collaboration within the county and the city.
Thank you. Miss Vinegar.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Vinegar. I'm the chair for the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party. Also, I do the.
Okay. All right. You're kind of breaking up on us. Are you still there? All right. We'll let you work. All right. Well, thank you. We got who you are. Kim Vinegar. I think she's the president of the Scott County Democrat Party. Okay. All right. Dr. Crystal Miller.
Hello, Crystal Miller. I am the Public Health Director for WEDCO, which serves Scott, Harris, and Nicholas counties.
Thank you. Miss Preston.
Hi, I'm Amy Preston, and I'm also with Scott and Bourbon County Habitat for Humanity. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Carter.
Good morning, Lee Carter, President of the Kentucky Horse Park. I also serve as the chair of the Georgetown Scott County Tourism Commission.
Mr. I said, is that Vince? Vincent, you on?
I'm here.
Right. Go ahead.
Vincent, I'm a community and civic leader.
Okay, thank you. You also met Mr. John Cooper, so you know, and Mr. Alvarez. Chase, you there?
Yes, sir. Chase Azevedo with Georgetown Municipal Water and Sewer Service. Thank you.
Mr. Meacham?
Yes, sir, Mayor. JD Meacham, Executive Loan Officer with Rocket Mortgage, President of Leadership Scott County, and all around pain in Jack Connor's rear. So,
Mr. Hawkinsmith.
Yes, Mike Hawkinsmith with the Hawkinsmith Agency, and I'm the president of Scott County United.
All right. Dr. Allen?
Rosemary Allen, president of Georgetown College.
Judge Covenant?
Hey, Joe Pat Covington, glad to be here with you.
Mr. Douglas? I know you're driving. John Douglas is the president of the NAACP. And Ms. Whitehouse?
I'm with the city. I'm the director of affordable housing and homelessness prevention.
All right. Catherine Stocks?
Hi, I'm Catherine Stocks, and I'm the chair of the Scott County Republican Party.
All right. I see Mr. Manuel.
Hi, I'm Mark Manuel. I'm the Vice President of Advancement for BCTC, and I also serve as the Executive Director of the BCTC Foundation.
All right. And I see Reverend, oh, there he is. Reverend, are you on there?
Yeah, this is Andrew Singh, Senior Pastor, Georgetown First Methodist Church.
And Miss Cloud?
Hi, Amelia Cloud. I've just on a lot of different community groups in town and very involved with the community. Thank you.
Okay, Brian?
Brian Langlands. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Student Life and the Campus Minister at Georgetown College.
And Ms. Hamburg.
Hi, I'm on City Council, Georgetown.
All right, thank you again. And thank you all for attending. Like I said, I don't want to waste your time. I'm sure you all got, yes. I miss somebody?
Robert Litson here.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Rabbi Litson, the Rabbi Antoine Bluegrass. We do services. Chair of the Kentucky Jewish Council, represents the Jewish community's views to public officials.
All right. Well, thank you. Is
Hey,
there
Mayor,
anyone-
this is Sandy also.
Okay.
Sandy, not here. I'm the Vice President of Toyota
All right.
Motor Manufacturing Kentucky. Thank you.
All right. Some of you come in a little late, so I'm picking up on. So is there anyone else I failed to recognize? So you can introduce
Mayor?
yourself.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'm here. This is, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, this is Lynn Godsey. I'm the campus director with Bluegrass Community and Technical College's Georgetown campus.
All right, Joe Kane.
And this is Joe Kane. I'm the director of Georgetown Scott County Planning Commission.
All right, Tina Lilly.
I'm Tina Lilly. I am the Recreation Manager of Ed Davis Learning Center with Georgetown Scott County Parks and Recreation.
And Ms. Jones.
Good morning, all. I'm Bryn Jones with the Housing Authority of Georgetown.
All right. Now, is there anyone else I failed to get here? I think I got everybody. Once again, I appreciate your taking time out, your busy schedules to talk over some issues. Once again, it's if you have some concerns or you have some information that you want to bring to this group so we can discuss. Again, the purpose is to get a dialogue and to update, to get on issues that are facing our community, and as a group to maybe collectively come up with some ideas or to navigate to come up with a resolution to some of the issues and problems that we're facing. These are times in the city and county, in our government, and in the country itself. There's a lot of issues, and some of these issues that's going on in Washington filter its way back down to us at the state level, and then from the state level down to local level. And there are some concerns. There are some great concerns that we as a group need to be very, very, as John said, vigilant on and understanding some of the issues and advocating what's best for our people in this community. We can't always fix things in Washington, D.C., but we can always try to do things what's best for our people here in the city of Georgetown and Scott County. If anyone else have any questions or have a something you want to bring up to the group, if not, we will have again our next. I believe our next meeting will be July the 29th, Monday, July 29th is our next meeting. It'll be at 10 o'clock. We will send out a reminder. Yes.
This is Vincent Morris.
Yes, sir.
I know between now and July is a few months. So are we planning to look at some of the issues we've already spoken about, create committees that can break off and work on these issues so we can come back with a report? I mean, how are we supposed to address them? How are we supposed to create a plan? How are those things supposed to come about is my question. And I think that having committees allows us to take our expertise, sit at a table and come up with a plan, at least to bring back to the table to see if it even makes sense, if it's even something that's feasible.
Yes, we can do that. And I'll be working on doing that, Mr. Vincent, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we've been keeping up with some of these issues. And again, we can have some groups, and I'll be in contact with some of you all to kind of look at some of these issues and see some possible solution to those. But anything else for the group? If not, July the 29th at 10 o'clock will be our next meeting, and hopefully some of the issues that were brought up, we will hopefully have some information for you. Thank you again, and have a great day.